Hi, welcome to the guide to try to beat the Cardinals. You will have to play a perfect game, but I do believe there are holes in his game that you can take advantage of. Let's try to explain his team to you a little bit. He's got Kyler Murray, so automatically in your coach's adjustments, you're going to want to put that on conservative. Um, that way he cannot do his little read option at the goal line because that's what one of his tendencies are is to try to run it in with Kyler once he gets down into the 5 to 10 yard line. He also has threat detector on Kyler Murray, so if you're going to be blitzing on third down, he will know that and take advantage of that. So I would suggest trying to get pressure with your front four, and that's kind of the strategy that I took when I played him. His running back is probably the best running back in the league, but right now he's hurt, so he has Bulledge, who is also a pretty good running back. He is just not Culliver. Culliver has an X factor, a first one free, and he breaks so many tackles, it's ridiculous. What you'll notice with his wide receivers, he has speed at every wide receiver, with every wide receiver, and they all have or his top two have abilities. So you will need to get to the quarterback, or they will get open. His tight end has elite speed for the position. I believe that's the fastest tight end. The good news about his tight end, though, he doesn't have abilities just yet. He is only a star. His offensive line, they're basically 85 plus, so they could definitely get a good push on you. Just be aware of that. He's got Aaron Donald, so that's why kind of passing isn't the way to go. If he has you bagged on your first read and your second read, Aaron Donald will be there before you get to your third read. I guarantee that. He also has another pass rusher in Samson. See, D tackle is where people don't realize is so important in this CFM. He's got inside stuff on him, right? So that means that any inside zone, this guy's pretty much going to blow up on his own. He doesn't even have to worry about it if you run inside zone. And then this is the interesting part. He's got another lineman that has inside stuff on him. So you know what he probably does? He probably puts this guy end, even though he's a linebacker. So he's going to have two people that have inside stuff. So I would really avoid trying to do inside zone. That is not the way to beat him. He's got abilities on his top cornerback. Yeah, both of his cornerbacks. This probably, I think this is his slot cornerback. He also has abilities on. So you're going to have to throw your guys open. They're not just going to be open versus man. You will have to lead them to get open. You'll see I do that a couple times nicely. I think he does put Simmons on the line sometimes. So maybe he does put this guy at nickel. Or no, actually, he puts him at sub linebacker. That's what he does. I'll get into some of the gameplay of my game versus him. You'll see in the first drive, I kind of just pounded down his throat and I just take what he's giving me, and that's kind of the key to it. So let me jump ahead to that. Alright. Off the rip, you will notice how he kicks it. He'll kick it to the right and try to pooch it a little bit so that you come out with it and he has a chance at a hit stick. Make sure you go down before he gets that hit stick in because he has big hitter on most of this and that's part of his game. So the first play of the game, you'll see I'll come out an 0-1 trap. And I'll show you why this is effective. As you can see, there's huge gaps where the trap is going to be run, and that's what you're looking for. And that, look at that, we're on touch for 8 yards. Inside stuff does not activate during traps, does not activate during power and stuff like that. So that's the kind of runs that you're going to need. You're going to need to run to the gaps that he gives you. You don't need to pass it every play, especially with Aaron Donald on the field. He comes out in a lot of nickel sets and a lot of 2-4-5, and that is easier to weak box than to pass on. So you need to take advantage of that. We do come out with the inside zone on this play. There was no inside stuff on the field, so we took the numbers game and we got the first down of the game. The key to this is to stay in second and manageable, obviously, just like pretty standard football IQ there. We come out and counter. You can see the gap between the D tackle and the end there. Although we had Fournette in, so, and you'll notice that he comes out in cover 4 quarters quite a bit in this game. You're able to run in cover 4 quarters more than you would expect. As you can see, there's only 4 down linemen attacking you. The rest are are dropping back. So if you can get past the initial line untouched, you are off to the races basically. And this is how I kind of trick him a little bit. I'll come out and I'll bootleg, PA boot over. If the crosses aren't open, I got the delay fade. I mean, that's a pretty standard play. Everyone knows that play. It's kind of uncoverable. No one's going to man that up if you're rolled out with your quarterback. They're going to come to the quarterback. Alright, as you can see, look at all the gaps. Obviously, we're going to take those gaps. We're going to audible down even to try to weak box him. We're just going to double team the tackle so that it stops the inside stuff. And then we are able to get a 4-yard gain and keep it second and manageable, like I said earlier. He's coming out in a lot of cover 3 when we notice that, so we go to a cover 3 seam play. And as you can see, he audibles out of his mid blitz and goes to cover 3 show 2. And wherever he goes with Simmons, you're going to throw to the opposite, so he went with the tight end slightly. Luckily, our running back held on to that. This play is where I kind of trick him, but the game kind of fucks me. So yeah, a good way to get some of your plays that you're very comfortable with is to come out in a different set. Then he's not going to be thinking about this crossing route, right? Because he has set up himself for another play. So look, he goes the complete opposite way that he's supposed to. And unfortunately, my QB sails this, but it might be a blessing, honestly, because the more time you take, the less time Kyler Murray is going to be on the field. So slow, methodical drives are kind of the game plan. You want to have time of possession over him, or things could get ugly fast, and you'll have to pass to get back into the game, and that's not what you want to do. You want to keep it close and low scoring. So I come out kind of one of my go-to plays. I see that he wasn't hard flatting this entire time. I kind of motion over to the play, and he gets distracted, and we're off to the races with a 96 speed running back. You probably won't get as many yards after catch as I do because I have 96 speed on him, but it can still be effective. We come out and counter, but then we switch to the other side because we see a better gap on the other side. and we get lucky and we spring free with this. Watch this broken tackle. That's pretty rare, but I mean, Fournette does have a high break tackle, and we were able to get around the corner and pick up a huge gain there. We're going to come out in quick base, see what he comes out in. Yeah, it looks like a good look for quick base, so we run that. He was able to shoot the gap and blow it up. But we noticed something that he does look like he's in some sort of cover 4. So we go to a hurry up, and we were able to go in on touch with Johnson with the QB wrap. And that was a great first drive. As you can see, we took 6 minutes off the clock. And that's what you're going to have to do to keep this game competitive. Alright, and to no surprise, he does score on the first drive. I was still setting up my defenses, and he kind of noticed that I was taking a lot of time on the clock, so he did a no huddle to get a score fast. So we like what we see here. We got lots of gaps. We're back to the 0-1 trap. This is simple. Watch, we'll go on touch for a couple yards again, and we're in the recurring theme where we're ahead of the chains. Again, he's coming out in nickel sets. We're just going to take what he gives us, and we were able to get a nice gain on there on second down, and we are back to first down, which is what we like. Again, I'm coming out in different formations and then audibling to the play that I want. I recognize that he's in man. I was able to get a run on his user, and we were able to hit the tight end on the drag for a nice 6-yard gain. This play I could have broke if I didn't juke. As you can see, I accidentally juked, so I put myself back closer to Simmons. If I would have just kept outside with that, could have been a huge gain. I really like that inside zone, the 24 zone. I like to hit that on the backside, especially when it's to the short side of the field, because he does not expect that. People don't expect you to run to the short side of the field, especially when all your linemen are on the other side of the field. Again, we're going with trap based on what he's coming out in. We're able to get a 3-yard gain. You're going to have to take some of those 3-yard gains, because if you establish the run, the pass is going to be that much easier to utilize. He's not going to be able to just come out in whatever he wants. He's going to have to respect that. Again, he's in the 2-4-5. He looks like he's either I think he's just showing blitz on this play. We let the quarter run out. And we don't come out in the same play, because he'll have an idea what the play is. So we try to come out in something different. And we were hitting him. This looks like a cover 3, 3-3-5 cover 3 easily. And it does turn out to be that. And he has a hard flat on the field, so the tight end is open. And we were lucky to hold on to that. We have Slot-O-Matic, so I assume that's why he held on to that. Makes Abram look like his bitch in that play, to be honest. Alright, and this play, it looks like he's in cover 1. Cover 1's pretty easy to run on. You have to have a little bit of patience and a little bit of speed. I do have 96 speed, so that's not going to be the result for everyone running. But if you're pretty sticky with it, you can get some big runs like that. You have to let your blockers run into his user and let them get a little bit of a push before you use your sprint. Don't sprint into the back of your lineman. Alright, comes out on offense. He hits me in the flats forward. We're going to give him that all day. If he has to take multiple plays, we're going to give him that all day. We just don't want to get beat over the top. We take away the flat on this, then we double back, and then this is where you have a chance at something bad happening. He playmakers Bulledge across the field, and luckily Fitzpatrick was there for the interception. And now we have him pretty uncomfortable. He's not usually down by 7 and then giving a turnover, so this is uncharted territory for him, at least in the Madden Grey Cup. I know in his other CFM he does take a couple losses a year. So we're going to come out and we're going to keep running it, obviously. We're happy with just our 3 if that's what it comes down to. As you can see on the left side, there's a gap between his end and his outside linebacker, so we're going to try to get that. As you can see, White has inside stuff on him, and he blows that up, so it's what happens when you run zone. I thought I was going to run a counter there, but I guess not. That was a mistake on my part, looking back now. And we're going to go with another levels concept. I mean, that's our bread and butter. And then we see that there's a gap, so we audible down to 0-1 trap. Unfortunately, our alignment doesn't blow him up, so we didn't get much of a gain there. Now we're in a 3rd and long, which is the things that we want to avoid. But what's important is that we get points in this drive. We don't want to squander our interception. As you can see, he's cheating down with the safeties. We just take the check down, hoping that we could get a first down, but we don't. But that's fine. We can get the field goal. We do end up getting him to a 3rd and 7. And we kind of get lucky on this play. He does a little play action and he's got his tight end wide open, but Kyler Murray rarely, who has very high stats, sails it, and we hold him to 3, which is a win in my book versus him. Anytime you can hold him to 3. Alright, again, we'll come out 1st and 10. Look to see what he's given us. As you can see, there's like 10 people that could fit in between that gap. We take what's there, we cut back a little bit, get upfield, get 3 yards. He's running a lot of man, which is what he likes to do with his coverage corners. They have high man and they have abilities, so it's smart on his part. We're just looking through our plays, and we come to our favorite play, PA boot over. And since he's worried about the delay fade, he kind of hesitates on the short crossing route, and we were able to hit him over the top. That's kind of was built up from the patience earlier in the game. You're not just going to be able to go hit him over the top on the first play of the game, but if you got him cheating down on the run, you got him cheating down on the short passing, eventually you'll be able to hit him over the top like that. We're trying to utilize the clock here. We notice there's only 3 minutes left. We don't want to give them time to score before half. So best case scenario is we score a touchdown with maybe 10 seconds left or something like that. And you can see he's coming out in these sets that are easy to run versus. You got to take that. People get really pass heavy. If you're willing to run, you can move the ball on them. as you can see. We're going to take it down to the 2-minute warning here. He doesn't elect to take a timeout. Took us a while to pick a play there. Anyways, we come out and post. Then we end up audibling down to a levels concept. And we hit the flat again, trying to make sure that he knows he has to hard flat. So later in the game we can hit him over the top to the tight end or something like that. Again, we're not in no hurry. We're not in a hurry to score because we need to leave as little time as possible. It comes out in a 3-3-5. And he is ready to shoot that gap with his linebacker, which I think he does on this play, even though we have a perfect run for it. If he can shoot the gap. Oh no, he doesn't. He end up getting covered up by the lineman, and we get a nice gain. That's why you go to where the gaps are, because if he doesn't shoot the gaps in these nickel sets, they go for huge gains without even being touched. And he looks to be in like a cover 4, so we do stick with the base, but he was able to shoot the gap this time, I believe. Or no, the inside stuff got us. And I've noticed that he really likes cover 4 to try to stop the run, which is interesting. I guess he does have inside stuff on some people, so I think he just relies on that. And then he has a real good pass coverage behind it. A lot of people are on cover 4 around the goal line because the weakness of cover 4 is just streak everyone, and you can't really streak everyone if you're at the goal line, obviously. So I end up switching to conservative before this play so I don't fumble in case I did run the read option. But it kind of hurts me there because I think Geddes could have wiggled into the end zone if he wasn't on conservative. And then I kind of make the biggest mistake and the biggest turning point of the game here. And after this mistake, it will probably be a much harder game. It could be a lot different if I didn't throw this. As you'll see, he comes out in a 2-4-5 when he does come out. So he looks like he's in a mid blitz or something like that. His user is way over to the left, so I don't even expect him to lurk over there. He knows where I'm going with the ball for the entire game, so he plays on my tendency to throw that flat and lead it out, and he's able to tie it up even though we dominated the first half. So learn from my mistake, take your 3 there. Hell, running inside zone versus inside stuff was better than throwing a pick 6 at that point. That's the end of the first video. I'll come to you with the part 2, and I'll show you in part 2 where if you stay patient, you can continue to score even after he makes his adjustments.